All right, everyone, thanks for joining us. First question will be Justin Spears, Arizona Daily Star.
So you guys had a scrimmage today. What did you like about what you saw, and then what were your overall takeaways from that?
No, we had over 110 plays, worked some more situation, had a 2-minute again today, and really 4-minute to close the game. And with some young guys and things like that, situational football becomes a big deal. So, we operate it. It's big for, you got some, a couple young running backs that we put out there, and Jalen Johns and Frank Brown. And Brightwell, I thought had an excellent day today, and ran hard, did some great things, caught balls, got out of bounds in 2-minute situations, stayed in bounds in 4 minutes to end the game. So our running backs are coming along, and Wiley had a nice day too. So those guys got plenty of work, particularly in those types of situations. And I thought defensively, we got a couple guys that are out, but I think our D-line is improving. The two transfers, and Blackwell and Roy Lopez are big guys that can hold the point. We got some young D linemen that are coming on every day. So I would say that from today, I know it sounds kind of wild, but the running backs and the D line have improved.
Is there a position group that worries you the most or gives you the most concern?
As a coach, you worry about everything, right? So, I don't know that that's the case. I think, like we talked about coming into this thing, we're a little thin at linebacker, and we're in safety. So, we gotta hold up there, and then, and make some adjustments, as we said before a couple of weeks ago. Get our best people on the field. Today, for us was, we're 2 weeks away, and we're going to have those personnel discussions this afternoon and tomorrow, and go into two legitimate game weeks with guys who, that we see offensively, defensively, and special teams as getting on the plane and going to Utah.
Next question will be Michael Lev, Arizona Daily Star.
Hey there, Coach.
Hey.
One of the areas that you said you wanted to examine over this last week was the backup quarterback situation. Do you have any clarity about that? Do you have a pecking order set or leaning in a certain direction?
That's going to be part of our personnel discussion here in the next 24 hours. And that would be the same for all the positions, based on, we had 90 plays. We've had 2 weeks of practice. We had a 90-play scrimmage, a 70-play scrimmage, and 120-play scrimmage over the last 3 days, Saturday, Wednesday night, and today. And so that personnel discussion and grading system, I got to look at the tape again, Noel and I, and the operational from all of those scrimmages and today, and then we'll settle down and probably have a 2-deep going. Not probably, we'll have that going by Monday. But personally, those personnel decisions are based on what's transpired over the last 2 weeks.
Is there any particular attribute or factor that you're looking for when you're grading the quarterbacks in practice?
Yeah,
that stands out above the others?
Accuracy, leadership, right? All those things. It's so yeah. I mean, we've got the same. How does the guy operate? That's why we played situational football these last couple of scrimmages. How he operates in those situations, and moves the football team. or how he handles the clock. Like we had him in situations like today. Just all those things that go into successful offense and being a quarterback and leading.
You mentioned Gary Brightwell. We got a chance to talk to him last night. He obviously has been through a lot in his life. What do you just make of his character, his leadership, kind of what he brings to the locker room?
Well, I think, you know, Gary has been through a lot, like you said, and that's documented, but he's also, since I've been here, he's also matured a lot and has grown up. And it might be, it's age, but it's also part of his, as you said, Mike, it's also part of some of the things that he's been through, really. But, you know, there, without a doubt, today he was a complete player. You know, if he continues, he could have a big year.
Next question will go to Steve Rivera, Fox Sports 1450.
Yeah, hi, Coach. You could talk about how Grant did today, in addition to the other players you just mentioned. But what have you seen from Grant this year that you didn't see from him last year?
Well, you know, he's got more reps, number one. So it's expanded, you know, what he knows. He spends a lot of time, you know, studying the game. You know, and as I said, he's been working his tail off. So, you know, he is continuing to improve. You know, this time I think, and all the individual work that we were able to get with him in the weight room. He's 230 something now. So he's just improved over everything. The goals in the off season, to work on his footwork, strengthen his arm, all those different things, and become a student. He's always been a student of the game, but also leadership skills, everything that goes into being a quarterback. And I think he's worked hard and improved across the board.
You talk about the accuracy and leadership. You're seeing what you hope to see.
Yeah, if we weren't going to see that, you know, what do you want me to say?
Next question.
I think I'd be honest with you. I mean, I'm not being smart, but you know, I think as a group, the quarterbacks have come along in the last 2 weeks. You know, I just think as a group they've improved.
Thanks.
Our next question will be Shane Dale, Wildcat Country.
Yeah, Coach, with Arizona being picked to finish last in the division, first of all, do you pay attention to that kind of stuff? And is there any usefulness in terms of using that as a motivational tool? The so-called
you must not have heard the Pac-12 call, because I got asked that during the Pac-12 call.
I wasn't part of that, sorry.
So I didn't know anything about it. And as I said before, the people who create that ranking, I think my exact words were, no, I do not pay attention to it, because the people who create that ranking will not play or coach.
Next question will go Jason Shear, Wildcat Authority.
Hey, Coach, with all the COVID protocols and all that, do you have to be almost overly cautious when a player gets hurt, even if it's a slight injury or soreness or whatever it may be?
What do you, I don't understand.
Like, in order to make sure kind of that you have enough players, or I mean, are you just more overly cautious this time of year when a guy's hurt or sore or whatever?
We're always cautious. We're always cautious. You know, those are two separate things. An ankle injury, a sprained ankle, and COVID are completely different.
I just meant with having your question. I guess just in order more of with the Pac-12 releasing that you have to have a certain amount of players and all that, are you just more overly cautious when you take into account guys being injured and stuff like that?
No, we got to play. We're playing football, right? So, you know, we got to get ready to play games. We got to balance that. You know, that's it, and that's just the way it is right now. So, I guess what you're asking is, which is in a roundabout way, the combination of COVID
Yeah,
injuries can reduce. That's why I didn't understand your question,
my apologies.
right? So the combination of that, we're managing that. And we understand, with the 53 players, we understand what that looks like. And we have to manage that.
At this point in camp, when with the focus starting to turn to Utah and all that, is this team where you thought it would be? Has it exceeded expectations? And in terms of when you went into camp, how does it kind of line up with what you wanted?
Well, we got some new guys, right? And they're working their tail off. And, where we are right now is halfway through camp. So, a coach is never satisfied, really. So, we got some things to work on. We got to get better this week. And as you said, you turn and focus now, instead of 120 players getting reps. We're getting back to those 70 some players that are going to be travel roster, and so you can hone some things down. So sometimes, sometimes in a situation where you have 120 guys out there, things can look different at different times. That's why I like to wait and see the video and who all's out there before we make these decisions on who's getting on a bus to go to the game.
All right, our final questions for Coach will come from Michael Lev.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about a handful of defensive players, if I could, and I'll kind of go through them, individually here. Christian Young was saying that Reddy Short is getting a lot of looks at safety. This is someone who's a redshirt junior and has yet to play here. What does it say about his perseverance or his patience or work ethic that he's put himself in this position where he hadn't played and now he's in a spot where he could play?
And Mike, the story about him, right? So he's been through a lot of different things, and
I don't know the story. No.
Physically, well, he just early in his career, and he's come along, he's battled, and he's a mature guy. So he's been able to be a communicator. He's worked his tail off in the off season. And, in situations like that, as I talked about, with what has happened, and everybody's going through this, because of transfers or different things like that. It's another opportunity. It's an opportunity for a guy on the team. And then, we talked earlier in camp about, what does that mean? This is an opportunity that some guys have waited a lifetime for. And so, he's been around, like you said, and is playing with a lot of determination right now.
A couple other guys in the defensive backfield, the younger guys that we just haven't heard that much about so far, Bobby Wolf and Jackson Turner. Where are those guys at with their games?
They're doing all right. Jackson both of them showed some flashes last year. Jackson was really improving last year until he hurt that shoulder. Right, so he had shoulder surgery, and then that kind of set him back a little bit. And for off season, but he's not that far behind because we only had 4 spring practices. So I think Jackson's coming along very well, both those guys.
And the last thing I wanted to ask you about, you mentioned Aaron Blackwell and Roy Lopez in that defensive line group, but there are 3 spots, and I assume you're going to use at least 6 players. So who are some of the other guys who seem like they're moving toward being in that kind of top group?
Well, like I said, I want to watch a video and then talk about really getting to a 2 deep tomorrow and Monday.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, guys. Thanks.
We'll be back in just a minute with Grant Gunnell. All right, questions for Grant Gunnell, please raise your hand. We'll start with Justin Spears, Arizona Daily Star.
Grant, so what did you like out of today's scrimmage, and was it better, was it worse compared to some of the other scrimmages that you had?
I mean, it's about the same. I felt like all of the scrimmages have been good for us. In camp, that's the best you can get. That's right now, that's the best time of my life is, I go out there and go against the defense live and see how the offense is going, get through some growing pains and stuff like that.
And I mean, how is it like just actually, playing football and getting out there and hitting and actually taking part in the sport?
I love it. I mean, there's nothing better. There's nothing better than playing football.
And how is the offense getting better now that you guys are actually going up against the defense? I
would say, it's just getting set up right into formations. It's all the little stuff, signals, running the right depths in your routes, and getting timing down with the receivers and stuff like that. It's just fixing the little things and getting better each day, 1-0 and stuff like that. And never getting down, if there's a bad player, stuff like that, and staying up, not get your head down.
Next question is to Michael Lev, Arizona Daily Star.
Hey there, Grant. It's been my experience with quarterbacks that sometimes they'll approach practice maybe differently than they will a game. They might take more chances in practice than they would in a game. Do you approach practice any differently than you would a game?
No, sir. I approach every practice like it's a game day. I go through the script. I make sure I know each play that's going to be called and my reads on each play. So I don't go out there and play careless. I play how the offense needs me to play each practice, and if the shot's there, I take it. That's how it's going to be in the game. So,
sure. The way last season played out, you were kind of in and out of the lineup. You were starting sometimes you're coming off the bench. Maybe you weren't even sure how the rotation would work. What do you think you gained from that whole experience?
I would definitely say patience and definitely not to get down on myself. I got pulled a few games and then put back in and stuff like that. It really taught me to prepare like I'm the starter and how to watch film and stuff like that and always be prepared. I think coming off the bench some games and getting pulled was the best thing for me, confidence-wise, because that's going to happen in a game. You're going to have downs, you're going to have lows, and you have to learn how to get above them. With the offense, you can't let anyone else see you down because then the whole offense is going to be down. So I feel like coming off the bench and getting pulled was the best thing for me last year.
Next questions will go Steve Rivera, Fox Sports 1450.
Along those lines, Grant, what have you shown this year that you weren't able to show last year, or not maybe able to, or maybe have improved on this year personally?
In the off season as a quarterback, you're not trying to work on one thing. You're just working on being a quarterback and working on everything at once. So, I just feel like each day I'm getting better and better at the offense and having to grasp the defenses and stuff like that, and getting the ball out quicker, not taking sacks, and knowing when to throw the ball away. I think that's the biggest thing for me right now, learning how to do that and stuff like that. It's just all the little things are getting better and better each day that I wasn't as strong at last year.
And maybe to piggyback off of Mike's question, this year it looks like obviously you are the guy at quarterback. Is there any pressure with that comes along with that, knowing that you're going to be the guy until you're not the guy?
There's always pressure when you're playing football, and that's not a bad thing to me. I see and feel pressure as something that drives me. And if you're not feeling pressure each game, like those butterflies in your stomach, you don't love football. That's kind of what you can ask anyone. That's what kind of drives you and what you love about football is that that nervous feeling, that little butterflies in your stomach before games. So, I mean, yeah, there's definitely pressure, but I wouldn't say it's a negative thing.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Next questions will go Shane Dale, Wildcat Country.
Yeah, Grant, Coach Stewart had a lot of praise for the running back group last night. Just what are your overall thoughts on the running back core that you have, and do you think they could have a big role in the passing game for you this year?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the running back group they're packed with stars right now. I mean, I can name each one of them right now. They're all balling out, and they can run it in between the gaps, and they can get out wide. They can catch the ball out of the backfield. They're very impressive, and right now I feel like they're something great to have in my back pocket in the passing game. When I get in trouble, I can just dump it down to them. They're going to give me 3-4 yards to stay on schedule, as well as have big plays out of the backfield on a wheel or stuff like that.
Next questions will go back to Michael Lev.
Grant, we talked to Gary Brightwell last night, and he's led a difficult life in a lot of ways. He's had a lot of character building experiences. What do you make of him just as a teammate, as a guy, hanging out with him, talking to him?
I love Gary. He's a really good dude on the field and off the field. I mean, off the field, he's a guy you can just hang out, go eat, stuff like that. He always has your back. Yeah, I see him as family. He sees me as family, I believe. So, and on the field, he's reliable. He's a guy that I know I can always check down to. He's going to give me yards, and he might make a guy miss and take it to the end zone. So,
what is your comfort level in these settings? Because you're doing a lot of interviews now. You're kind of emerging as kind of the spokesman for the program in a way. What's your comfort level, and have you done any sort of training to improve in these interview situations?
Yeah, as far as training, my freshman year, they put us on like a student athlete success class where they teach us how to handle interviews and stuff like that, fans and other stuff. So that really helped me prepare for this, my first semester here. And comfort level, I mean, I just feel like I'm talking to, I see you guys as friends. I don't just talking to you guys. It's not something I see as something bad or anything like that.
And how much time have you spent at this point looking at the Utah defense?
I've been watching film with Coach Mazzoni. He's been giving me a breakdown of what they're going to run in different formations and stuff like that. And I watched a few cut-ups from other teams playing them in different formations. So I don't know exact timetable how long I've been watching them, but I've been watching them for a decent amount of time.
Given that they've had a lot of personnel turnover on their defense, are you looking more at their scheme and system than you are at specific players, since most of them aren't even back this year?
Yeah, yes, sir, definitely. I mean, you're kind of just looking at how they line up against different formations and different concepts, seeing how they play it. Because it's going to be different players, but I assume that, they're going to be playing the same technique and same coverage to different formations and routes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, our final questions for Grant will come from Justin Spears, Arizona Daily Star.
Grant, do you have any hobbies outside of football?
I love to bowl. I also have a puppy right now who I'm taking care of. He's like a son to me, so I like to bowl. And other than that, I kind of nap or I'm in the playbook. There's not a lot of stuff I do outside of football.
So the dog, you said that's not yours?
It is mine, yes, sir.
It is. What kind of dog is it?
I have an English lab. He's 8 months today.
Okay. What's the dog's name?
Junior.
How did that come about?
My cousins have like 3 or 4 English lads, and they kind of got me on board. I love them. I love dogs. I had a standard poodle growing up, and I kind of wanted to get a dog I could have for the majority of my life. So just came about. Corona happened. It kind of worked out perfectly. I had that time off where I could be watching him or doing football because there wasn't really school going on. Now he's grown up, so I can leave him alone for a little bit, then walk him and stuff like that. So
yeah. And what has being a dog dad taught you?
It's definitely taught me a lot of patience with him because he likes to chew a lot, and he's gotten some stuff he shouldn't have and stuff like that. So, I love him, but he gets on my nerves a lot.
And what has he chewed up?
It's easier to say what he hasn't chewed up. He's chewed the wall. I've lost about 3 or 4 pairs of shoes, one of my pillows, and he gets into the trash a lot. So
that's funny. And real quick, how did you get into bowling?
Back where I'm from in the Woodlands, there's a bowling alley, and me and my buddies would be bored a lot. We'd just go bowl and then go see a movie and stuff like that. Just kind of hang out and once I learned how to spin the ball, I kind of fell in love with bowling.
Okay. And what's the best game you've ever bowled?
I haven't gotten to 200 yet, but I think I bowled a 190 something couple weeks ago.
Okay. And is your family big into bowling? Is that a big family activity?
I like to do it with my parents, when I come back home and stuff like that. I don't know how big of a bowler they were, but it gets pretty competitive and heated when we go bowling.
And who do you bowl with on the team?
I went bowling with JJ Taylor, Khalil a lot last year, and I've been bowling with Lucas Haversick. I've kind of been by myself bowling for a little bit.
So you just go by yourself sometimes?
Yeah, yes, sir.
And who would you say is the best out of all the guys that you played against?
Oh, definitely JJ Taylor. He's a good bowler. He's a really good bowler.
Cool. Thanks, Grant.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, everybody. That's all we have for fall camp. Thanks for joining us. We'll have details on our first week of coverage shortly.